guest with us today. Hi, Your Royal Highness. Hi, Meghan. We are getting you prepped with everything you need for your royal wedding viewing party. Please welcome my panelists, social columnist Shinan Govani, Alison Eastwood, and royal experts Colin Justin. You know, you can't have a proper viewing party without being fully decked out. So we have to say a huge thank you to milliner extraordinaire David Dunkley. It's really amazing that we can have these beautiful fascinators. Do the women not look lovely?
What about the boys? I need a maninator.
Go to Cityline.tv for more on David Dunkley. So we have got to start right from the beginning. This has been such a whirlwind romance. Alison, I know, as the editor of Hello, these are the moments you wait for. When the royal family, when they have babies, when they get married, this is an exciting time for everyone. So let's start right at the beginning, and let's talk a little bit about Meghan and Harry meeting. I mean, how unlikely was a meeting of this prince and this actress? Shinan, I'm gonna start with you.
Well, yeah, it's been like royal mania for the last year and a half, and I think you can say that Meghan went from Kensington Market to Kensington Palace, because for some of us who knew Meghan in Toronto, who watched Meghan, she was really sort of part of the city, showing up at parties, was, you know, walking her dog in parks like Trinity Bellwoods at Kensington Market. Yeah. And had really sort of become a Torontonian. And then, of course, this meeting with Harry happened. Yes. And I suppose you can say that it happened the old-fashioned way, because in this world of sort of online dating, etc., they were introduced through friends.
Nice.
Yes.
Do we want to talk about which friends introduced them? Because there's a lot of speculation around that. Three names keep coming up.
Sure.
Marcus Anderson, who's affiliated with Soho House, Misha Nunu, a fashion designer, and Violet von Westenholt,
yes.
So who allegedly set them up on a blind date.
Yes, well, they have themselves spoken about a blind date.
Yes.
And there is a little bit of fog around exactly who and where and what.
Yeah.
But the sort of theory that's being trumpeted the most these days is Violet,
yes.
who's the daughter of a baron who worked at Ralph Lauren.
Yes.
And so there was a connection with Meghan through that. But we'll have to wait for maybe their own autobiographies to find out.
That's
for sure.
Right.
Yes.
All the information is out there. I mean, everything is alleged.
Yes.
You know. Okay, let's talk a little bit about Meghan and someone who's our very own fashion expert here on Cityline, Jessica Mulrooney. Now, it has been excruciating coming in and doing the show with Jessica, knowing she will not say a word about her friend Meghan. And you will find that you can really see the authenticity of the relationships in Meghan's inner circle, because no one is really talking about it. And I think actually that's kind of quite lovely. We see at the Invictus Games there a picture of Jessica Mulrooney, Marcus Anderson, Doria, which is Meghan's mother, and Meghan Markle all together. And so there's been a lot of tight-lippedness about it, which we understand. When it was announced that these two were together as a couple, there was so much scrutiny on them that Harry actually felt the need to stand up and make a statement. Can you speak a little bit about that, Alison?
Yeah, so once the news broke, their worlds just exploded, especially Meghan's. She just didn't know what, she was a celebrity, but she did not know what had hit her. And nor did her family, nor did her friends, nor did her ex-boyfriend, Corey. And so Prince Harry took the completely unprecedented step of issuing a statement via Kensington Palace, basically like slamming the tabloid press or internet trolls. But most surprisingly of all, it actually stated that Meghan Markle was Prince Harry's girlfriend. It said Prince Harry was deeply disturbed by the fact that his girlfriend, Meghan Markle, had been subjected to a wave of abuse and harassment. It was very strongly worded. It got into great detail. It mentioned how even her ex-boyfriend had been harassed. It went on to say that Harry was, deeply disappointed that he'd been unable to protect Meghan from this. And I mean, we're all reading this at the office going, oh my God. I mean, that was essentially a love letter to Meghan. That was when we knew.
How unprecedented is that?
Completely unprecedented within the royal family to even confirm that a member of the royal family is dating anybody is unheard of. To issue a written statement to that effect has never been done before.
But I think that it was at that moment that the world fell in love with Harry, because they saw this gentleman, this person really sitting at his stall and saying, "This is my girlfriend, please understand and be careful. Don't ruin this moment for her or for anybody." And I think at that moment we all just swooned, because he clearly showed a lovely side.
In love with Harry.
Well, clearly.
Exactly. That's the flip side, isn't it, of being so public. And that was the amazing thing about their relationship. Okay, when did we first see it? You know, it was at the Invictus Games. It was in a public forum. It wasn't some exclusive interview. It wasn't something we read about in a newspaper. They wanted to share that moment with everyone, you know, and I think that's just, it's really, that's what's taken the world by storm. It's a proper royal romance. And you know what, it's perfect proof, girls of the world, is that you can meet a prince anywhere.
Just anywhere. You just never know.
It's such a fantastic love story. I mean, I think we were all talking about the romance before the Invictus Games, but the Invictus Games were, I think it was the pivot at which, or during which, everybody saw that this was a really important thing. Obviously, Harry was the founder of the Invictus Games, and to see Meghan there with him, the founder of such a heartfelt event, we then fell in love with Meghan. So bit by bit, the jigsaw, the royal jigsaw, started to assemble, and we all grew to have a big affection for them both.
And that was sort of the first public
photo
photo op of them together, and they touched each other. They touched each other.
Like real people.
Like real people. There was hand touching, and there was snuggly cuddling.
But gorgeous, Tracy.
Oh, but
do you
it was
know,
beautiful.
just real
As a
people
matter of
doing
fact,
real things.
From my perspective, watching it, I was like, oh, that's cute. And then I'm reading the coverage. It's like, oh my God, no, this is unprecedented. I didn't realize when you look back at couples, even I believe the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, do they touch publicly?
A little bit, but not to that extent. They kind of opened the door a crack for Harry and Meghan, and Harry and Meghan just blasted right through it.
Isn't that great? That's a liberation. I actually think it's fantastic that the royal family are now much more approachable than they were. And I think Harry, and I think everybody would accept that Harry is the guy who has allowed the world into the royal family. To use your observation, that the door was open a little bit, now it's wider. It's not fully open, but it's wider open so that people can enjoy a family that are a really big part of the Commonwealth and indeed the world.
And right away, people were concentrating on style, Meghan's style, what she chose to wear for that particular grand outing. A pair of ripped jeans, you know, a big kind of boyfriend white shirt, just looking so casual.
Might be her last ripped jeans. She just wanted to get that in there before that door closes.
She's had to swap the ripped jeans for new tights, everybody.
But really heralding the fact that she was this accessible girl. She was like the girl next door. You know, you could be her, you know, if you have the right ripped jeans. I thought that was a pretty cool statement, because you've got to know that as casual as these things may look, on one hand, they're very premeditated. I'm sure a lot of thought goes into exactly how you're going to present yourself.
To be seen as real, Jeanne.
100%.
And the name of the shirt, designed by her good friend Misha Nunu, is the husband's shirt.
The husband's shirt. Wink, wink. You know what? We're going to get into it. We are going to talk about style. We are going to get into fashion. We are going to talk a little bit about the bucking of tradition. We are going to talk about it all. So
the Buckingham Palace of tradition.
I love that. Tradition. So that when you sit in front of your TV and wake up at 3 a.m. or whatever time you have to wake up to watch this wedding, you know everything. Yay.